You're looking live at the only college football pick'em show on Thursday night, 8 p.m. YouTube. Coming to you from different parts of the country. I don't know how to dress it up any better than it already is. I'm a little tired. I got a little Christmas hangover. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little tired from Christmas. It usually wears me down. It's a lot of travel for me. I am in the confines of my home, although my backdrop is different. I am in roughly the same location I was yesterday, or the last week when you saw me. My next backdrop is going to look something similar to this. Moving forward, this will be the area where I do a lot of my YouTube podcast type stuff in the future. So, it'll be something to look forward to. Jude, as always, is in his filming location with the basketballs behind him. So you can always start with Jude. He's got his normal watching area. So,
I mean, those things.
All right, we're going to comment here. Let's see. Oh, as always, Pat Paulson. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for
Pat,
watching.
How you doing?
I hope you had a Merry Christmas. And before we leave today, we'll drop some Happy New Year's. But did you have a good Christmas?
What was that?
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes, I did have a good Christmas. Thank you. It was just quiet. My son and I went to my mom's house, and my brother and his kids were there, and then pretty much just hung out. Ate a lot of food. My mom made a bunch of food.
Hey, can you do me a solid for a second? Can you cover for me for just a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I don't plug my Ethernet cable in, we're going to have connection issues like real
No, you're good.
All right, man. Cover for me for just a second.
All right. So who's in the chat today? I got Pat Paulson. What's going on, Pat? How's everything going? You hope you had a good Christmas. See if you're prepared for the new year. See how everything's going. How many people we got watching right now? Let me give the chat a boost if I can. Oh, excuse me. I'm not even sporting white right today. Today I got the Celtics going. Celtics lost on Christmas Day, which is kind of horrible. USC plays tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play Texas A&M. I think they're playing in the Vegas Bowl. Should be a good game. I've taken them all year long, and they've see if I can keep taking them. Army is only dressed in 5 guys for the LA Tech game. The rest can dress themselves.
Oh, yeah, we got all good matchups. Hunter's about to hop on. He's just working on getting his headphones set up real quick.
Okay.
But normally he's in this room, and I'm in the other room. But now we've changed everything around, so of course we have to keep everything different throughout the season.
Does he sit at a different spot in that room? Because I don't usually see that. Kind of in the back. Does he sit like a different angle?
Yeah, normally he sits. Well, it's all different now. This used to be his bedroom, and then once he moved out, I kind of threw all the shit away and moved him. He's looking at me like he's planning my demise, which could be possible.
No, just trying to find something that works in terms of headphones.
You got those headphones yesterday.
Yeah, but they're not charged up.
No, the other ones.
Those aren't charged up either.
Brian Stewart, Merry Christmas. Hope you had a nice Christmas.
Well, Hunter will be on shortly. He's just getting headphones. He may have to go headphone free and sit in the front room. I may not be able to talk as loud. So, Brian Stewart, how's it going? Merry Christmas to you as well. Hope everyone is having a great day after Christmas. Jude is going to cover us in the chat today. As always, Jude's got faster typing fingers than I do, so.
Pecker.
Yeah.
I did a year and a half of service writing, man. I learned how to peck really fast.
Yep, hunt and peck. You're a good hunt and pecker, huh? I got terrible jokes. That's all I can tell you.
So, we gonna hear anything about that game, man? How was it?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good time. They pretty much, at first,
Clemson,
Clemson
Clemson
came
played
out
a
and they
little.
scored that early touchdown, but then Texas woke up and just kind of thumped them. And even when it got a little close there in the third quarter, really when you're sitting in the stands, you could feel like the team was just a play away from just breaking it right back open again. The energy in the stadium was real good. Like when
Yeah,
I haven't been to a ton of live sporting events, but I know you have, and I know you know what I'm talking about. Whenever you can feel the energy from the team, and you're like, they're not worried, they're not stressed out, they have good body language on the sideline, and you knew they were going to be able to shut them down. And I mean that was
it was one of those. All right, gotcha.
yeah. Christian, hey, you got a link, man. I had to send you another one, so hop on if you can. No, it was one of those deals. It got close there for a second, but it wasn't. You were never like, oh man, we're going to lose this game. It was like, they're gonna finish them off here shortly. And
It wasn't like me in '05 when up 12 with 6 minutes left and I was shitting my pants.
it was 11. It was 11.
Oh, 11.
It was good. We got to meet the athletic director for Texas. He was just like walking around and,
Oh, very cool.
introduced himself. And Hunter and I were sitting there, and he goes, I go, hey, that's Chris Del Conte. And Hunter goes, he's walking right up to us. I'm like, well, fuck it, let's talk to him.
What's up, Hunter?
How you doing, Jude?
Doing well, man. Did you enjoy that game?
Yeah, it was a good game.
Who you guys got next?
Arizona State.
Arizona State, that's right. Oh, you guys are going up against Joey Preciado.
Yeah, I'm sure Joey's going to hop on here in a second and start, he's going to blow the Instagram up is what he's going to do.
Has he been?
But he won't come on because he's too famous.
He doesn't. I talked to Joey there was a time where I got between YouTube and not Facebook, Instagram, 100 messages a day from Joey. Now I don't think I get, 1 in 100 days.
If Joey ever wanted a career as somebody's like media or social media manager, that guy could.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody that can post as much as Joey. Joey's like the official producer of the show. You know what I mean? Or Instagram. I can't even keep up. Like he's talking about, he blows me away with all his Instagram posts. I'm like, all right, man, I've got no chance to answer all of these, so I just have to pick one. But
and it's funny because you share a lot of stories on Instagram, and
Yeah.
not a lot. I mean, one a day, maybe, or two a day, but to me that's a lot. And I know what you mean about Joey, because Joey's like, whoa, boom, 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 boom. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking you do a lot. So can you imagine what I think about Joey?
So I have like my go-to ones. Like I always like to post a Kermit the Frog, anything on Instagram. I like Skeletor from He-Man. I think those are hysterical. And anything Chuck Norris. So if you see any of those, there's likely I've seen them too.
That's cool. I love the Chuck Norris and Mr. T ones. They're badass dudes.
Yeah. My favorite Mr. T saying is whenever they come and ask him how he wants his coffee, and he's like, "In a cup, fool." Oh man, but no, the game was good. It was fun to watch in person. Texas is really, really, really fast. I will say that they're not just the skill players, but even the big guys up front are really fast. I was impressed with the speed of them. The size, there was a couple guys that were like, because we went and stood for player walk, as the players walked by,
Right.
and they weren't like. There was a few that were a little bit taller than me, but not a ton. I was the ones that I was eye to eye with wasn't a surprise. Like there was a couple big linemen. Arch Manning is obviously a massive dude. Also, he is not small. But
well, we were also on a step, and they were like on the.
Well, I know, but I was judging by the distance I was looking over the top of their head, I could tell who was who. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
wasn't like they were
Spencer
head and shoulders
Shannon
bigger.
is one massive individual.
Oh my God. If they list him as 6'7", he might be 6'9". I mean, he is a big dude. So, all right, we're about 10 minutes in. Why don't we start talking about? Let's let's fall back on our regular season here. And Lindsay's not gonna be here tonight. He's got a lot of family stuff going on. Nothing bad, just a lot of family in town from overseas or out of town or wherever the Northeast is. You know, but we're not gonna be able, we're gonna cover our salute to the service academies here in just a second. But before we get started with that, let's go with our 5-star versus 1-stars. And I'm going to go with a 1-star from last week. I'm going to steal it before anybody else can hop onto it. The Tennessee Volunteers. You shouldn't go post about SMU before your game starts. You shouldn't go post about SMU not belonging in the CFP before your playoff game because it bit you in the ass. Tennessee Volunteers. There you go. Man, Nico the floor is lava. He looked like he didn't know what the football was supposed to do. Like he looked like he was trying to kick it every time he touched it. So
you can't take my line. I came up with that.
Hunter, I had his name down pat, and then after I had surgery, I totally screwed it up. But Hunter calls. Well, sounds good. Bless you. It sounds like it. Hunter always says Nico the floor is lava.
No, so every time he plays well, he's Nico Iamaleava. Every time he sucks, he's Nico the floor is lava.
Oh my gosh, he was terrible on Saturday. Awful. I'll say this: that was my 1-star. I really thought they let it down. SMU, I thought if you're going to pick a 5-star and just get away from the regular 5-stars, Penn State put a 5-star performance out there. They dominated that game, offense, defense, special teams, hands down, no doubt about it. Penn State played a 5-star performance. Did they play a super duper tough team? You don't know. I mean, maybe not. But I really think that. But Penn State put the like this is how you beat an opponent, right? I mean, you beat them down. And if you want to go to another 5-star game, the South Dakota State games. Did I get that right? North Dakota State and South Dakota State game.
North Dakota State played South Dakota State, yeah.
That was a good game. If you want to talk about good games, that was a good game. We watched that on the Jumbotron. I know it's the FCS game, but it's good. Hey, speaking of Mr. Better Late Than Never, Lindsay Coyle, how's it going?
Well, I did not know that we weren't going on time.
Well, it's okay. You're here now. It's all that matters.
Whew, just snuck in under the wire.
We haven't even talked about it. We're going over 5-star versus 1-star from last week. We talked about Hunter and I going to the game. So I'll let Jude go next since I stole his 1-star. Jude, who's your 1-star performance? And you can pick the same one. You may have better analysis than I did.
No, thinking on the fly now, I'm gonna have his name's slipping my mind right now, but the head coach for the Hoosiers, Indiana,
Kurt Signetti.
Yes, they had a great season, and I think he was more worried about showing that they belonged in the playoff than trying to win a game. Because in that fourth punting and some of the situations that he punted it, he wasn't trying to win anymore. He was trying not to get embarrassed. And I think that's a 1-star performance in my mind. And 5-star, man, give it to the Buckeyes, man. I was saying that Ryan Day might get fired after this weekend, but onward ho. Who's next? Promise you, now I'm picking him to beat Oregon.
All right, Lindsay, did you watch any college football from last week? Bullshit me a 1-star, please. Just fake it till you make it. All right, Hunter, give me a 1-star performer from last week.
That's tough. I'm gonna go with the national media. Let's go with that because it's kind of pissed me off seeing a lot of the talk like, oh, this team didn't belong or this team didn't belong and Bama should have been over this team or South Carolina should have been instead of this team. And it's like yes, the SEC has a great collection of extremely talented teams, but the teams that made the CFP were the teams that should have made the CFP, right? Like, of course, they lost an away game in the playoff. That happens in NFL. If you're a home team hosting a playoff game and you don't win, they start talking about firing your coach, a la Dallas Cowboys, right? Like, you should win your home playoff games, college, NFL, high school. That first round for the higher seeded team, you get to play at the stadium near you versus going like out to the valley. And here in Texas, like the Austin teams, if you stink, you have to go play a valley team way out in the middle of South Texas. So
You want to play Valley team. If you get
you do want to play them, but you have to go. You have to go. You have to. But you have to drive to like the middle of nowhere.
You absolutely want to play a Valley. You want to get the Valley section if you're in the high school.
But we
playoffs.
we were the number 1 seed in our district, so we got to host a team in our home stadium, basically.
You know, by district. Your by district game.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
so,
let's get to your 5-star performer.
I was going to finish my thought. I just hate how the
media go ahead.
Has attacked Indiana, SMU, Clemson, and Tennessee for not having great performances, but all this like rah SEC. The worst team in the playoff was Tennessee. They got smashed. At no point did Tennessee have a chance. Indiana got within 10. Clemson kept it competitive and fun. SMU, their defense came to play. Their offense, not so much. But Tennessee just was outclassed, beginning, middle, end. So, third best team in the SEC looked like trash, in my opinion. The worst looking team. So all this talk about the SEC, this and that, maybe not. But for my 5-star, I'm going to go with Cade Klubnik. Now, they didn't win, but, man, watching that game in person, the whole team, like Clemson, centered around Cade Klubnik. He took the best secondary in the country, and he made them look terrible. I mean, I was sitting there like, what? This looks like a significantly worse secondary than what I'm used to this last 2 years, really.
Definitely swinging that rock.
Phenomenal. He played amazing. But, I mean, if you've watched Texas high school football, in the 2020 to 2022 and then him going to college, you knew he was good. He played really well, and they have a system that really fits him. I think really he's 5-star performer of the week, and man, dark horse Heisman next year, as long as they can keep that talent they have around him. But the transfer portal may not be so kind to Clemson if the reports are true.
I am so sick and tired of the transfer.
We'll talk a little bit more about transfer portal coming up next week. That's going to be part of our next week's show. Transfer portal will be closed by then. We'll kind of talk about, or the transfer portal part 1 will be closed by then. We'll talk about it, and then we'll kind of talk about our schedule moving into the spring and the summer. We'll absolutely have a spring show coming up, our big spring extravaganza, and then starting in June, start looking for shorts from all the panelists talking about the teams they're going to cover and talk about upcoming schedules. So that's something to look forward to. We'll keep moving forward with that. But definitely some of us are going to change some massive locations.
Are we going to do a wrap-up show after the national title?
We'll see who's playing in it. Just giving you all the time. We can absolutely do a wrap-up show. It's fine. So you'll get probably another 3 weeks of us, and then we're going to take a little couple-month break, and you'll catch us again in the spring. And then we'll take another little couple-month break, and you'll catch us in the summer, and it'll be football season again before you know it. So we'll squeeze in some UFL in between then, and some whatever else we get a hold of.
2 days ago, I was telling people, Merry Christmas, and it seems like, or 2 days ago and yesterday, and it seems like, not counting going forward, but going backwards, like I was just telling people Happy New Year's a few weeks ago, man. That year went by quick.
I know. It seems like just yesterday was Christmas.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I'm excited. I don't know what for, but I'm excited. But it goes by quick. The older you get, the faster it goes by. Before you know it, they'll be throwing dirt on top of me. So there you go. All right. Anyways, Christian, what's going on, bud? How you doing?
Good.
I saw Christmas went well for you. I saw that you added to your workout equipment.
Yeah.
If you're not following Christian on Instagram, you need to follow Christian on Instagram because he's going to start throwing up a lot of workout stuff.
Type it in the chat, Christian.
I post all my workout stuff on TikTok more so, and then a lot of my YouTube.
All right, so we're not TikTokers here.
Yeah.
So
Instagram
you have to be a little friendly. I know. TikTok, you get more reaction because that's where all the 15-year-old girls are. That's not my target audience, though. But everybody here except for Hunter's got a social media link you can get to. You can find Lindsay at Coil Tools. You can find Power Stroke Jude at the Power Stroke Jude YouTube channel. You can find Christian at What's the name of your YouTube channel, bud?
That's a good
Christian?
question. I can't remember.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll
Probably
put it in the stuff, and then you can find Christian on TikTok and Instagram. Unless you're
Remember,
me, then I
everything you
can
do on
find.
TikTok also goes to the Chinese government.
Hey, aren't they getting rid of TikTok?
I
Supposedly,
think it's being held up because there's this lawsuit right now.
Oh,
TikTok's
they're not
parent
getting rid
company
of TikTok.
suing the
They're
government
gonna
for it.
TikTok will get sold to somebody. They'll get sold to somebody, and they'll get sold to somebody, and then all of a sudden they'll still be here. It's not going anywhere.
They just want TikTok to they want the parent company to divest the U.S. branch and give it to somebody else.
Well, I
Hey,
don't
what
have
about
TikTok.
the
I haven't been on
Pittsburgh
TikTok.
game? You guys watch that?
What is
Six
it?
overtimes?
The Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh Toledo.
Toledo game.
Toledo, yeah.
Yeah, 6 overtimes. I don't know what to say.
46, 48 or something like that. 48, 49.
I wish they would.
Matt
I
Narduzzi
wish,
coached to not lose, and they still lost. So
I wish they would change the overtime where it's a little bit less, like something. I mean, I don't like the play and play and the play and the play and the play. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, I think it should go back to the original overtime rules. They worked. I don't know why we had to change it just because A&M and LSU went to 7 overtimes. I mean, the team that won that made rings, and then the next year got taught a lesson about making rings over a single overtime game.
I would never put that I gave up 77 points in a football game on a ring.
Well, they gave up 72. LSU gave up 76.
Whatever.
I'd rather watch endless overtimes in NCAA ball than watch the new kickoffs in the NFL.
oh my god, I hate those.
I wish they would
I'm
do it
not
like the
defending
old
it. I like
XFL style, where they had to rush down
The
the
scramble?
field to scramble. Yeah,
Right?
So
there's no
many-
broken necks ever happened in that. I mean,
So many.
all right, we're getting
the
off.
first time they did that dude busted up his rotator cuff. Remember? Very first game in the XFL?
Yeah.
Or
Vince was out there like, "Welcome to the XFL."
or Jeff Brom got knocked clean unconscious, and the next week he was playing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like, he was
Ebersol
clean
was
you
out.
know what?
He's
He's doing well for himself now.
I've seen interviews where Dick Ebersol was like, "Oh man," when he saw him saying it, like, "Welcome," dude, he was like, "Oh, dude, what did I get myself into?" He promised me it was football, but this is just wrestling.
Yeah,
The second attempt was a lot better, but the COVID.
my favorite player was He Hate Me. Rod Smart. He hate
Rod
me.
Smart, that's right.
Oh man, that was great. All right, anyways, let's get back to it. I'm sure we've run everybody off from this. Pat Paulson said he's still an LA Express fan. There you go.
Who's the LA Express?
Huh?
XFL team.
I'm a Houston Roughnecks fan, so
All right. All right, let's get into some football. Y'all want to talk about some football? There's 5 of us here. This is going to take a minute, so let's get over to conference. No, we can't do conference. We got to go to Wide Right CFB Playoff Edition. Playoffs. Where's Jim Moore at? Starting tomorrow. Can you believe tomorrow is Friday? The 27th. We got a slate of 5 games starting at 11 a.m., capping off at 9:30 p.m. I know Jude's got a little scratch in this, and I'll actually be pulling for Jude's team this week. So there you go, Jude. We'll agree on at least one game this week. But and then Saturday we're gonna have a big slate of games, and then no games on Sunday, one game on Monday. Tuesday we're gonna have another slate of 5 games, and then Wednesday, January 1st, we'll have playoff games. So we're gonna cover everything to Thursday, January 2nd. And on January 2nd, we're going to have another show. We're going to talk about the 3rd, 4th, 9th matchups. And then we'll have another show the following week, talk about the 10th and possibly the 20th matchups. Get y'all all the way to the national championship game. You'll see it all here on Wide Right CFB. We're YouTube's only best college pick'em show on Thursday night at 8 p.m. tonight.
occurring
So anyways, let's...
in 2 parts
What's
of
that?
the country. Occurring in 2 parts of the country.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, currently, yes. 4 of us are in one region, and 1 of us is in another. Yeah. So, Alrighty, Saturday, Friday.
on
Excuse me, Friday. I misspoke.
Yeah.
Friday. Oklahoma and Navy playing the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. This game happens at TCU Stadium, Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. OU's favored by 2.5, and I would definitely take. I'm going to take Navy. I'm picking Navy in this game. Navy hadn't had the turnover like Oklahoma. Half of Oklahoma's teams in the transfer portal. So I know Jude's favorite words there: transfer portal. I'm gonna say wrong team favored. Navy wins the game outright. I would take the under. What you got on this one, Jude?
I'm going to go with Navy. They had a strong year. They had a sputtered out at the end of the year a little bit, but they're going to redeem themselves. I mean, they kind of did when they played Army. I mean, they really did. But we'll see what happens in the ball game. But I'm going to go with Navy to cover.
All righty, Hunter.
Yeah, I'm going with Navy to win outright by 14. This is kind of like 2019 Navy versus Kansas State. A lot of talk about Oklahoma talent, this, that, but all their best players are gone. And so
Who's
Navy,
playing quarterback for Oklahoma tomorrow?
I think it's gonna be Michael Hawkins Jr.
Right.
But like Navy's proven they can handle a running quarterback. I mean, they can handle Bryson Daly, who's the second best running quarterback in the country, right behind Blake Horvath. So, I think that Navy's going to go out and beat Oklahoma. They have a lot of momentum after beating Army. And, in my opinion, Navy kind of proved – I didn't get to talk about it last week, but Navy proved that, they belonged in the upper echelon of college football again in terms of like the G5 teams. They just had a little bit of rough stretch breaking in a new quarterback after Horvath got hurt. I'm not a believer in Brent Venables' system there at Oklahoma. They're going for a full rebuild. Their defensive coordinator is looking to go to West Virginia with Rich Rodriguez. So I don't see Oklahoma winning. They definitely have more talent than Navy, but I just don't think those guys believe in the program there. I'm going with the midshipmen by 14.
All right, Lindsay.
I'm going to be the detractor in the room. I'm going to give Oklahoma the win. They're going to beat that spread. It was only 2.5. I'm going to say they're going to win by a touchdown.
All right, I think Christian's going to lean Navy in this game. Just knowing Christian, I'm prognosticating. We'll catch him here in a second. Our next game happens at 2:30 p.m. on ESPN. It's the Birmingham Bowl from beautiful Mobile. I'm kidding. Birmingham, Alabama. I love that. And it's Protective Stadium. So this is going to be a good game here. This is Georgia Tech versus Vanderbilt. I'm telling you, the IQ is definitely going to be up in this game. There's some smart kids that all go to school. They have similar looking uniforms. They have a similar offense between the two of them. They both play really pretty solid defense. This is going to be a tough game. Georgia Tech's favored by -3. The over-under is 50.5. I'm not going to take the over. I'm going to take the under in this game, but I think Georgia Tech covers that 3. So we'll go to Jude next.
I'm also going to take the under. I'm going to take Vanderbilt to win that game outright. And unfortunately, as fun as game, I think that is going to be a good game. I agree with you. But you were talking about the IQ bowl or whatever you want to call that. But I think, unfortunately, the IQs in that game are probably going to stomp all over the ratings of that game. But I'm definitely taking Vanderbilt. I don't think it's going to be a lot of people watching that.
The time slot's not real friendly, even on the second day after Christmas. But all right, Hunter, what do you got on this one, bud?
I think that a lot of projections like Vanderbilt because what they've done in the SEC, but I think Georgia Tech matches up really well with Vanderbilt. I think their defense is actually better than Vanderbilt's. Their pass defense is certainly better. I like Georgia Tech in this one. They're only missing like one or two important offensive players, but they still have Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. So as long as they have those two guys, they can beat any team in the country. Their offensive line is still there. Defense retained most of their best players. They're going to have a couple of their defensive backs healthy again. I like Georgia Tech in this one to cover the spread.
All right, Christian. We left you out on the Oklahoma Navy game. I said you were going to pick Navy. in that game versus Oklahoma.
I probably would pick Navy.
Okay, good.
And I
And
think
then in this game, Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna take Vanderbilt.
All right, Lindsay,
Good pick.
bringing up the rear.
I'll go Georgia Tech to walk away with this one by at least 14 points. I'll take the
Ooh.
10 points.
Oh, I like it. All right, we're gonna keep track of these.
Confidence.
Oh, do we have to?
No, we don't.
Do we have to?
Do we have to? All right, it's 6
Hey.
p.m. on ESPN from Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. The Red Raiders of Texas Tech travel to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, this game is God, dude. I mean, like the hate for the University of Texas at this game will be unparalleled. I'm telling you right now, you'll see more horns down at this game than anything else.
Yeah, I was going to say more horns down.
I don't know what Arkansas's sign is, but you're going to see this a lot between the two
I think
fan
this
bases.
is their sign.
That'll be-
I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything else.
So, Texas Tech has gone through a massive transfer portal rebuild. I don't know who's on the team currently. I know that they're going to have their two main players in Baron Morton and then Taj Brooks. And then Arkansas is definitely going to have their quarterback, Taylor Green, and
That's about
whoever's
it.
playing running back for them.
Braylon Russell as well.
So Tech is favored by 1.5. Tech has been such a hot and cold team this year. I really don't want to pick them. I'm leaning Arkansas to win this game. The over-under is 52.5. I say take the over. Take the over and take the Pigs to win. What you got, Jude?
Arkansas, man. Arkansas, it's a tough conference that they play in, man. SEC is probably the toughest conference out there. Hunter was talking about Tennessee and how they were overwhelmed in the college football playoff. But, sometimes the way teams play, the way the season goes, I thought Tennessee was a good team. I didn't think, even though I picked Ohio State, Tennessee to beat Ohio State, I really don't think Tennessee was ever, just like Cass, you and I were talking about earlier, even when Clemson got, 4th and goal late in the game, you never worried about them cutting it down to a single touchdown. It just didn't seem like something to worry about. Tennessee was not a team, one of the teams. There's a bunch of teams out of those 12 teams in the playoff. I said there's about 8 of them that I thought they're not going to win the national title. And that's kind of how I feel about Arkansas. They're in that conference. They're better than some of the teams that were in a better bowl games, but it can go either way. But I think Arkansas is going to definitely win that game. Texas Tech's going to lose.
All right, Hunter, what you got on this one, bud?
Well, Texas Tech loss to the portal isn't nearly as disastrous to their, season-long makeup as what Texas Tech lost Micah Hudson and a couple of defensive backs that didn't really play a lot, and they brought in a lot of guys. They're losing a lot of guys to graduation more than anything else. Arkansas has lost, I believe, 10 to 15 players to the portal and 3 starting offensive linemen, which for a team that's built like Arkansas is, that's cutting, especially to lose your center in a spread option offense. The second most important player behind the quarterback is the center, because he makes all the line calls and the line shifts, so that way all the surfaces match for the option plays. I like Tech in this one. I think that Joey McGuire has them a lot of momentum on that team. Taj Brooks has really come on towards the end of the season, and they've really found something with one of their players. Cameron Dickey has become a pretty important player to Tech down the stretch as well. So I like.
And the funny thing is, we saw his dad at Target the other day.
Yeah, it's true.
And we saw his dad. I coached against Cameron's dad in youth football, and Cameron in specific. So that's our little connection there. Christian, who do you got in this game? Tech versus Arkansas.
I'm very biased, and so I'm going with Arkansas.
All right. Why are you biased? Fill me in.
Because of Brandon Burlsworth.
I like that.
There you go.
It's my only reason.
Good enough. Christian, great answer. Excellent answer. All right, Lindsay.
I like Texas Tech in this one. It's going to be close, though. And I foresee this being a high-scoring game, so I'll take the over, and Texas Tech certainly will cover the spread.
Alrighty. At 7 p.m. on Fox, the only game tomorrow that doesn't happen on ESPN, we have from
Fox's
Snapdragon
only bowl
Stadium in San Diego, California. The German translation for San Diego is a whale's vagina. You have the number 21 Syracuse Orange taking on the quarterback and offensive coordinator Washington State Cougars. Oof,
OC
this one could get
Liz,
bad.
Coach Liz.
This one could get bad quick. Syracuse is favored by 17. You might favor Syracuse by 17 touchdowns. Now, I say this, and Washington State will find some way to keep it close. I don't think so. Travel is the only thing that Washington State has on Syracuse at this moment. I think Syracuse comes in. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play really good defense. I don't know what Washington State's going to do at quarterback. I'm going to pick Syracuse to cover. I'm going to take the over, and I say Syracuse scores the majority of the points in the over. Let's say you, Jude.
Yeah, Syracuse, only because of the portal. If they played this game day before the portal, or if there was no portal, I would definitely take Washington State to win this game. Even if their coaches were gone, I think their players would have played well, but I'm going to have to take Syracuse to cover. That 17 points is a lot, but I Washington State, like you said, no quarterback, no offensive coordinator, no head coach. You know, it sucks, dude. F that damn portal.
All right, Hunter.
Yeah, I probably would have picked Washington or Syracuse no matter what, portal no portal. But I mean, now it's just like they're so decimated. Washington State, they have it's so hard to pick a team that's been completely ravaged by the portal. I agree with Jude. I hate how we do everything now with college football, especially with the portal opening when it does, and then these guys can enter it. The portal, part of it makes sense with how colleges work, but I mean, come on, these guys, like the schools can have exceptions for the football players. I mean, they don't even actually go to class half the time, or whatever. I'm going to go with Syracuse. They're going to cover this 17-point spread. I mean, they're going to beat them by 30. Kyle McCord's going to throw for like 1,000 yards on Washington State, and maybe even throw himself into the first round pick conversation just because of what he's going to do to this poor team.
All right, Christian, who are you taking, Syracuse or Washington State?
Syracuse is just going to wipe the floor with Washington. There's no doubt.
All right. Lindsay, what you got on this one?
I see this is a pretty one-sided game, probably the most lopsided game all weekend, certainly. And it's going to be all Syracuse. They're going to more than cover that spread. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 24, 28 points. And I'll certainly take the over because they're going to pile on the points. And although I think they don't necessarily have, I think Washington State has enough offensively to put some points on the board to take the over. They're not going to come close to what Syracuse is going to total on that.
All right. Well, this is the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, so this is a decent game. I think we've all jinxed them now, so congratulations. We've
There's no
doomed Syracuse in this game.
Yeah.
No
In the
jinx.
strange
Racing
plot
50
twist, though,
starters.
in the strange plot
No
twist, it's not
jinx.
available on DirecTV.
I've been to a couple of movie booths. When SC
All right. Well, we got to say some highs real quick. We got Shannon Dickinson in the chat here. We got Brian Stewart in the chat. We got Power Stroke Jude on the panel. We've got Lindsay Coyle in the chat and on the panel. Pat Paulson's in the chat. And did I miss anybody else? Do we got anybody else? Christian's here with us. There you go. We're all done. I'm doing great. Shannon doing awesome. All right. With that said, the nightcap tomorrow night. I know one of the panelists is going to be watching with great anticipation.
Oh, well.
Would anybody like to guess who that said panelist is?
The secret prize is not Lincoln Riley getting fired, Jude. Just a heads up.
I'm going to give you 88 million reasons why he's going to be your coach for a couple more years. Hey, look, Jude. Look, there's only up from here.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
God, Hunter, stop being so negative. I'm trying to be positive. Jude's about to click off. All right, tomorrow night on ESPN at 9:30 p.m. from Allegiant Stadium in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I've never been to Las Vegas, so I couldn't tell you if it's beautiful or not. We have I don't know what the name of this bowl game is because the print is so small. Give me a
The
second.
Las Vegas Bowl.
SRS
I think-
Distribution
Vegas.
Las
I
Vegas.
didn't know if it was SR5 or SRS. When you hit a
SRS.
certain age, your vision sucks.
Bridge like acid.
USC versus Texas A&M. A&M's favored by 3.5. I don't know how they get this 3.5 here. Roses are red, Pacific is blue. USC starts a streak, and it begins with Texas A&M. All right, that's how I'm going with there. I'm taking the Trojans to win this game. I like what they have at quarterback. Hopefully, he can kind of, I'd rather pull the reins back on a quarterback than try to push the reins on a quarterback. I think you just need to pull the reins back just a tiny bit on him so he didn't make all the big mistakes. But past that, I think he's the quarterback of the future for USC. I think a lot of Trojans need to be excited about, our Trojan fans need to be excited about him and watching them. And I think A&M's going to wish they had a quarterback that looked like that. They think they have one like that, but they're not. A&M still has a good defense. They've lost a bunch of guys to the portal. They still have a really solid defense. I think Lincoln Riley's had enough time to plan for this game. I'm taking USC to not only cover, but take the over. Jude, what do you say?
Real quick, Dad. What's USC's quarterback's name?
It could be the floor is lava. No, it's Mayava. It's like it's the Rock's cousin, Jade Mayava.
I don't think they're related.
They're all cousins. All right, let's get that out of the way. They're all cousins.
Let's not
I don't give a shit. He's his cousin. He's the Rock's cousin. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna start the rumors. Going to start here. So when you hear it next year, it's kind of like at the game on Saturday. Can I tell myself on the game on Saturday? Does anybody watch a plethora of college football? Have you heard the High Tide commercial where the guy's like, High Tide, High Tide? I did that, and I got the entire section to start saying High Tide at the game.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I'm going to go with Jade Mayava and the USC Trojans and Power Stroke Jude. Who are you picking in this game? You better not pick Texas A&M.
Yeah. Man, it was a rough season, guys. It was, to have a lead in the fourth quarter of every game, and then people telling me, well, Notre Dame kicked your ass. I'm like, dude, we lost by 2 touchdowns, and in the fourth quarter, we threw a 99-yard and a 100-yard interception return for a touchdown, which means we were on the verge of scoring both times, and it was just very rough season.
Jude, the good news is your quarterback threw like 6 touchdowns that game. 2 of them to Notre Dame, though. I said the good news is your quarterback threw like 6 touchdowns that game. The bad news is 2 of them were to Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But
way to pad his stats.
Fortunately, some of our stud defensive players have been in the transfer portals since like week 4. But I'm going to take SC.
I don't think you're missing Barra Alexander. But former Hill Country Cowboy Gus Cordova is now a USC Trojan. So let's clap it up. Let's clap it for Gus. There you go. So when you see him playing next year, Jude, you can like, yes, coach that guy. That's right, I did.
That's cool.
Coach is strong.
But
all right, Hunter. What's that? You're going to take SC?
Yeah.
Of course you're taking SC, Jude. You'd take SC if they were playing 2 teams at one time.
Yeah, probably. I take them if they were playing the Chiefs and the Lions.
I don't know about that. But anyways, Hunter, who you got in this game, son?
I'm going to go with USC. Look, they played the 4th highest ranked strength schedule in the country. They held a lead in the fourth quarter in every game they played. Jade Mayava looks like he is the kind of quarterback that Lincoln Riley looks for. He can run, he can throw. I think A&M's done the A&M thing. We've just seen it, right? The midseason slide that they hit. They're always like 6-1, 7-1. Talking about their trip to the national title coming up, and then and it's just going to kind of finish here with the bowl loss to a Pac-12 team or Big Ten team now that it always did in the old Big 12 days. How many times did we watch A&M lose to Texas and then a month later go play in the Holiday Bowl or whatever against a Pac-12 team and get or Pac-10 team and get beat up. I mean, just all the time. So I like USC in this one. I think that they're finding what they need. And a lot of the guys at USC's lost to the portal, except for Zachariah Branch. I mean, they need to get those guys out. They were negative to the team, I think. I have a lot of faith in USC in this game for some reason. I'm a Lincoln Riley truther. I'll own that. So if they suck, then it's my fault, I guess. I'm going with the Trojans.
All right, Christian, who are you taking?
Wow.
I really don't like them, but I think in this scenario they are the best team, so I'm gonna go with the Trojans.
Thank you.
Thanks.
To win.
All right, Lindsay.
Well, I hate to be the guy to be the dissenting voice in the room, but USC has had too much going against them this year. They have been demoralized, no doubt about it. Texas A&M is already favored going in. I think that they'll have what it takes to pull this off, even though we'll be close. But I'll look for A&M to cover the spread. And unfortunately, I'll also have to take the under because I don't think USC has what it takes to put the points on the board. Unless they have Texas A&M do it for them. I don't know.
I think
Ooh, that's
the
harsh.
fans are booing you right now, Lindsay.
I know. It's not. It's. I don't do this for the popularity. I do it for the glory.
Jude, just remember, he copied almost every one of your picks this year. So there's a reason why he goes last.
I mean, I think that Jude's pretty happy that we didn't throw the jinx down on the Trojans.
There you go, Jude. Your team's got a legitimate chance because there's no way Lindsay's beating all of us. All right.
No, not at all.
All right, we're going to step it up now. We're going to go to Saturday, where a couple of these games don't matter as much to us as they do to somebody else. At 10 a.m., oh my gosh, 10 a.m., North Carolina is playing UConn in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl at a beautiful Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. And I've been to the stadium. I've sat on third base line, and I watched Mo Vaughn not hitting a damn thing. I'm going to go UConn in this game. I don't think North Carolina's got a Eskimos chance in hell of winning this game. UConn's the underdog. North Carolina's favored by 2.5, 52.5. I say Coach Mora Jr. and the Huskies get the dub by 7. Jude, what you got?
I'm going to agree with you. I definitely think Jim Moore is a good coach. I mean, I thought he was, even though I'm not a UCLA fan, I thought he did well there for a while. His mistake was not taking the Washington job, which is his alma mater, and that was like his dream job when it became available. I think he'd still be there and they'd be competing for national titles had he gone there. But North Carolina's decimated this year, so I'm taking UConn to win and to cover.
All right, Hunter, what do you got?
I mean, like Jude said, North Carolina is just completely decimated. I like UConn to win this one. Jim Moore Jr. I mean, he was one of the top candidates for North Carolina there, and then they went with Belichick. So, I mean, I think that he's got a little bit of he was a little upset. UConn's kept most of their best players. They lost a couple, but I like UConn to win this one, beat North Carolina. Probably nothing crazy, probably 3 points or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Huskies.
All right, Christian, what do you got on this one?
I'm gonna go North Carolina, and I think that they cover the spread.
All right, Lindsay.
I, too, have been to Fenway Park multiple times. It was my hometown park. I, too, have sat on the third base line. I also sat in the center field bleachers. I also sat in the right field grandstands. I also watched Mo Vaughn play, but I saw him hit 2 home runs in one game against the White Sox. So because of that, I will pick UConn and cover the spread. I'll take the over.
All righty. Now we're going to go to another baseball stadium. Lindsay's favorite team each year is for the New York Yankees in the Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl featuring the Boston College Eagles, Lindsay's team, versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers at 11 a.m. on ABC. What's that? What's wrong, Hunter?
No, you know what? No, it's just push.
You don't want to talk about the Fresno State Bulldogs?
State Bulldog.
Oh, all right, Hunter. Man, Boston College has really fallen off. Nebraska's favored by -4. I'm going to take the Huskers. Cover, take the over. Huskers all day long. Jude, what do you got?
I'm going to take the Huskers to cover the 4-point spread, and I'm taking the under on the 45.5.
All right, Hunter.
I mean, Boston College has looked pretty good with their with the other quarterback in, but Nebraska had to fight off a lot of people to keep Dylan Raiola around. There was a lot of big numbers thrown his way by big-time teams looking to get him to transfer away from Nebraska. They've guaranteed that Holgerson will be back to keep him. They put a lot of effort into this. I think Nebraska wins. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna give Nebraska the edge, though. I'll say that the Boston College will cover the spread, but Nebraska wins.
Christian, what do you got?
I got Nebraska as well, and pretty much just agree with Hunter.
All right, Lindsay. Your team.
Anytime a team from
your
Boston
favorite
has to play
stadium.
in Yankee Stadium, they get the weebie-jeebies. And Boston College isn't a whole lot to brag about this year. And because it's a Boston team playing in Yankee Stadium, they're all going to come down with a terrible case of swamp ass and crotch itch, and they won't be able to play as effectively as we would like to see. Take Nebraska to cover that spread. They're going to win probably by 10 points.
All right. In the New Mexico Bowl, I can't even read the name for the advertisement here.
Isleta.
That's whatever. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns travel to take on the TCU Horned Frogs at 1:15 on ESPN. This is from University Stadium in beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico. TCU's favored by 11.5. I think TCU wins this game, even though Michael DeSormo got a healthy raise. TCU gets back on the winning track. TCU wins this game, covers, but I would take the under. Jude, what do you got?
Agreed. TCU is going to be too strong. 58.5 points is too much for those two teams to combine for, but I would take TCU to cover the 11.5 points.
Hunter.
Yeah, Louisiana's lost a lot to the transfer portal. TCU not so much. They still have Josh Hoover, who's just lighting it up in the back half of the season. I think TCU's going to take Louisiana and apply belt to ass out in New Mexico.
Christian, what do you got?
Sorry, my unmute button would not work. I got TCU.
Lindsay, for the curse
jinx.
trifecta here.
I'm going to go along with the crowd on this. TCU is going to cover that spread too. Don't be surprised if they win by 17 points or so. They've got what it takes. Louisiana doesn't have the defense to hold them back. I'll also take the over.
That might be Louisiana's best features, defense.
Well, that's
Congratulations, Raging Cajuns. Y'all are going to win the Isleta New Mexico Bowl because we've cursed TCU into a loss. All right. At 2:30 p.m. on ABC from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl featuring the number 18 Iowa State Cyclones versus the number 13 Miami Hurricanes. Miami's favored by 3.5. I've watched Iowa State play a game this season, and I'm taking the U to win this game. As long as Cam Ward plays. No Cam Ward, no W. Cam Ward plays, I don't think Iowa State has a chance. Iowa State just underwhelmed me highly this year. I'm taking Miami to cover, and I'm taking the over. There's no way this game probably doesn't go to overtime, though. What do you got, Jude?
I don't know. I think it'll probably be a pretty good game. The line's probably about right. Miami by 3.5. I'll take Iowa State to win outright, though. Take the under and Iowa State to win outright.
All right, Hunter. What we got in this game?
I know I was doing the U down. I thought Cam Ward had already said he was going to the draft. I was looking for that, and I don't see it. So maybe I got caught with like a fake tweet or something. Um, so yeah, if Cam Ward plays, I'll give Miami the edge. But if he doesn't, I think Iowa State's going to walk him out of the park. So that's how I feel about the game.
All right, Christian.
I think Miami's gonna blow it out of the water.
And finally, Mr. Coyle.
Iowa State for the upset. And they will win handily by probably, I'm going to say 14 points.
All right, at 3:30 p.m. on the CW Network from beautiful Tucson, Arizona, the Redhawks from Miami travel to take on the Rams from Colorado State in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawk is favored by 2.5 points with 40.5 total points. Wrong team favored. I'm going Colorado State for the upset win. Jude, what do you got?
Colorado State. They're going to win the game.
Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I like Colorado State in this one. I know Miami of Ohio's favored, and they've got a really experienced quarterback, but so is Colorado State, and Colorado State's really found the ability to run the ball towards the end of the season. I like them to win.
All right, Christian, what do you got?
I am not going to go on the bandwagon, and I'm going to go Miami, Ohio.
All righty. Let's go with the Redhawks. Can you name me the most famous alumni from Miami of Ohio, Christian?
I don't think I can name you anybody from there.
Can anybody in the panel other than Hunter name the most famous alumni?
Ben Roethlisberger.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. Jude is the winner.
Wow.
Thank you. What do I win?
You get to tell Lindsay what pick he's not making. I'm kidding. Lindsay.
Yes. They
Pick this
should
game.
have named this bowl game with Snoop Dogg's actual name. And it would be called the Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr. Bowl. Why would you dump that name and take Snoop Dogg? I don't know. But here we are. Looking at Miami from Ohio, favored to win this game somehow by a mere 2.5 points. But I will go with Colorado State for the upset to win by field goal late in the game.
All right. Sorry, I'm chewing on sunflower seeds here. I probably should be doing that right now. All righty, at 4:45 p.m. on ESPN, from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland, it's the East Carolina Pirates traveling to take on the North Carolina State Wolfpack in the Go Bowling Military Bowl. North Carolina State is favored by 6, over-under 58.5. I'm leaning North Carolina State for some reason. They had a quarterback that retired this year because he had brain damage. I think I have brain damage for taking him. Jude, who do you got in this game?
Yeah, I agree. North Carolina State, it'll probably be East Carolina because I'm picking North Carolina State. So I'm going to go with NC State to cover the spread. Win by touchdown. 22-15.
All right, Hunter, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, NC State's quarterback died, basically. God rest his football soul. East Carolina had the interim coach bump, and it got erased against Navy. It's kind of a tough one to pick. East Carolina, however, has beaten the last almost beat NC State a couple years ago. I'm going to go with the Pirates because I watched a video on them like 2 weeks ago about like the history of this program, so I'm super amped for them right now. I'm going to go with the Pirates to cover and to win outright against the Wolfpack.
Who is the most famous alumni from East Carolina, Hunter?
We talked about this, and I already forgot. He's like a Super Bowl champion and all this stuff. I don't know. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Former Dallas Cowboy. You may have played youth football with his son.
Oh, right. Robert Jones.
Or Jeff Blake. Jeff Blake was quarterback. He was also quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals for a while.
Yeah,
Jeff
except
Blake
one is
most beautiful deep ball.
I agree. All right. Christian, who do you got in this game?
I got East Carolina.
Lindsay, shock me with some detail.
I don't know that I'm going to because I'm going to play this one pretty much by the line and say North Carolina State. They'll cover to win by a touchdown.
All right. At 6:30 p.m. on ABC from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. It's the Valero Alamo Bowl versus two Big 12 teams. The number 17 BYU Cougars face the number 23 Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado's a 4-point favorite. Over-under says 54.5 points. Colorado is playing both their star quarterback and their star wide receiver / defensive back in this game. And BYU, of course, is playing all their guys as well. If you had to ask me what I'm picking right now, I'm going to pick BYU because the game is at 6:30. It will end that night. I'm taking BYU to win this game. Every time I pick Coach Prime, he loses. I'll pick BYU to win, but take the under. Jude, what do you got?
This is probably, besides any of the playoff games, whatever bowl they're in, doesn't matter, and the Las Vegas Bowl, this is probably the bowl game I am most looking forward to watching. BYU is solid all year. Colorado had a great year as well. And as big a fan of Coach Prime as I am, you guys are probably going to trip on this, but I'm taking BYU to win outright in what's going to be a great game, fantastic game.
All right, Hunter.
Well, I do know my one-star performer for next week is going to be the Alamo Bowl for selecting two Big 12 teams. But this should be a good game. I'm going to go with the over on this one. And, the Buffaloes, their guys got everything to play for in this game. They're all Shadur and Travis Hunter are fighting for first round or for like number one pick consideration. I'm going to go with the Buffs to win it in a high-scoring affair. I think both teams score 40+.
All right, Christian's missing. Lindsay.
I feel like a jerk because I've been bad-mouthing Colorado all season. They've proven me wrong. So it would be silly of me to go against them here. I think they have what it takes to beat BYU. So I'll take them by 10 points. Look for them to walk away with it in the fourth quarter, though. And as they pull away, they'll leave BYU in the dust. And that'll be the third quarter is going to be the last time BYU scores. Colorado will walk it the rest of the way.
Well, Lindsay, Christian disagrees with you. He says he's taking BYU, and he saes Parker Retzlaff will do a backflip into the end zone to celebrate.
Oh, you may be right. I'm just saying stuff.
Jake Retzlaff.
Oh, that's right.
Parker Retzlaff.
Parker Retzlaff drives in NASCAR. Whatever. Close enough. All right, and then the nightcap at 8:15 p.m. on ESPN, part of our Salute to the Service Academies, one of my favorite bowl games of all time. It's the Independence Bowl from Shreveport, Louisiana. The Black Knights of the Hudson take on the Louisiana Tech. I'm drawing a blank.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Bulldogs? Is that what you said? Army's favored by 16.5 points, 44.5. The only reason Louisiana Tech's in this game is because all of Marshall's players entered the transfer portal to follow their coach to Southern Miss. I'm taking Army to win this game by a shit ton. I don't like Louisiana Tech. I don't like Louisiana Tech's coach. I like Army. I'm taking Army. Number 22, Army, wins to end the season. Boom, done. Jude, who do you got?
Oh, Army's going to steamroll them 100%. I agree with you on that. I don't think that's that's 16.5 points. Doesn't do Army justice. Army's going to steamroll them for sure.
Hunter, what do you got?
Army may beat them 45-0. It's gonna be bad. Louisiana Tech doesn't deserve to be in this bowl game.
Christian's picking Army. He's not here. I'm picking for him. Christian's picking Army. Lindsay.
Louisiana Tech's going to start out strong, but after their quarterback gets hurt at the end of the first quarter, the backup quarterback gets hurt in the second quarter, and then in the locker room, their third-string quarterback gets hurt going to the water fountain. They're going to have to pick some guy out of the stands. Unfortunately, it's a guy named Clevis Pumpkinhead LaFleur, and it's not going to go well at all the rest of the game. Army's going to walk away with it after the second half begins. That's
Oh, man.
Good.
All right, on Monday, December 30th, the Hawkeyes of Iowa travel to take on the Missouri Tigers, the number 19 Missouri Tigers, in the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. This game's going to happen at Nissan Stadium. Missouri's favored by 3. If you watch Missouri play this year, there's so many reasons why I wouldn't want to pick them in this game. I'm picking Iowa to win by 1 point. Take the under. Take the way under.
wow.
Iowa.
Wow.
Lindsay, what you got?
Ooh, that's a bold prediction. I got to side with Missouri, though, but not by much. Maybe they squeeze this one out by a touchdown. So I'm not. I wouldn't even say they're going to cover that spread, which is 3 points. They might not. They might just beat it, or maybe do something silly like win by a safety and have a 2 point win. I don't know. It's gonna be a very close game. I will side with Missouri on it though.
All right, Jude.
I think I like Iowa in this game. Definitely going to be low scoring. 40.5 points. I don't think we'll get there. So I'll take Iowa to win outright and take the under.
All right, Hunter.
I'm going to go with Missouri just because, at some point, Iowa's going to have to face the reality that Kirk Ferentz has ran his course as head coach. And the quicker we get to that, the quicker we can get to Iowa being an actually competitive program once again. So I'm going to go with Missouri. They got a lot of momentum right now. Luther Burden, I think, will be playing in this game. So I'm going to go with the Tigers.
All right, on Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, for the last time of the year. The number 11 Alabama Crimson Tide travel to take on the Michigan Wolverines in the ReliaQuest Bowl from the Ray J in Tampa, Florida. It's not like we're playing a game in the Ray J like every week. Maybe 2 weeks.
For a 40-year-old stadium, it gets a lot of games.
The Tide are favored by 12.5. I'm leaning Michigan. I'm going to take Michigan. This game happens at 11 a.m. on ESPN. I'm going with the Wolverines. What you got in this game, Jude?
I don't think Michigan blew their wad when they played Ohio State. I think Alabama's going to run all over them. So I'm going to take Alabama to cover the spread and take the over.
Hunter, what you got?
I'm gonna go with the Wolverines. Michigan knows how to stop Kalen DeBoer's offense, and I just don't think that it's really done very well. And except for Ryan Williams, none of the players on Alabama's offense are very terrifying at this point. All their best players have left. So other than Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe, there's no one on Alabama that's like one of those elite players that you expect to come out of there right now, just because of what's happened in the transfer portal. Michigan, everyone's sticking around. Guys are going to stay to play the bowl game. Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, they're going to play. I really like Michigan to win this game. I think they're going to attack Alabama the same way that Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Oklahoma attacked Alabama. They're going to use that quarterback option game, and they're just going to probably beat them. I'm going to take the Wolverines to win outright.
Second time in 2024, Michigan beats Alabama?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All right, Lindsay.
For the second time in 24, Michigan beats Alabama and Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, man. All right, Lindsay, what do you got in this one?
I'll also pick Michigan on this one. I like what they got coming in. I don't think they're going to win by a whole lot, maybe a touchdown or 10 points, but it's going to be Michigan on this one. Alabama is kind of running on a flat tire coming into this game. So look for them to just get gassed into the second half of the game.
Also, I want to add that Alabama has been, like, especially the fan base, has been the most vocal about them not being in the playoff. So it'd be perfect for them to lose this game. Like, just more proof they didn't fucking belong in the playoff. Which they did.
All right. At 1 p.m., this is another one of my favorite bowl games here. And why, I don't know. But at 1 p.m. on CBS, from the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, it's the Louisville Cardinals traveling to take on the Washington Huskies in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Louisville's favored by 2.5. I don't care who wins this game. I'm going to pick Louisville to win the game. They're going to cover the spread. They'll win by 3. I'm going to take a push on there. I say they hit the over-under there. That's what I'm going with. Jude, what do you got in this game?
I'm also going to – well, tough game. I have a question. Why do they have at, like, if it's a home game for someone? Is that because they're, like, higher ranked?
You're wearing your home and away jerseys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm and then in that case, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take Louisville. I think they're gonna be Washington. I think Washington was a little bit overrated this year, so I'm gonna go with Louisville. Cover that spread. They'll win by more than 2 points, 3 points.
All right, Hunter, what do you got?
Yeah, I like Louisville to win this one. Washington's defensive coordinator is headed to North Carolina for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm going to go with the Louisville Cardinals to win this one. They can run the ball really well. Washington is still a good team, but I like Louisville in this one.
All right, Lindsay and Christian have disappeared at this point. They are both taking Christian's back. Christian, who are you taking, Louisville or Washington?
Washington.
All right. Lindsay, Louisville or Washington?
I'll take Washington in the upset on this one, and it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be so good, some might call it great.
They're great. All right. At 2 p.m. on ABC, from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, another game at Camping World. We have the number 15 South Carolina Gamecocks traveling to take on the at number 20 Illinois Fighting Illini. I don't know what an Illini is, but I know it's that. In the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, South Carolina is a 9.5 point favorite. I need to invest in some glasses or binoculars, one or the other. I'm leaning South Carolina, but I'm talking razor thin margin. They don't cover, and I would say they take the over. They don't cover, take the over. What do you got, Jude?
I'm gonna, and I apologize for this, but I'm gonna run through the last 6 games real quick, if that's all right, man, because it's time's not on my side today. I hate to do that.
All right, take me all the way to the Duke Ole Miss game.
Through Duke Ole Miss. All right.
Mm-hmm.
In the Cheez-It Bowl, I'm going to take South Carolina to beat Illinois. I think they're going to cover the 9.5 point spread, but I'm going to take the under. Baylor versus LSU. I'm taking LSU to win outright, even though Baylor's a 2 point favorite, which I don't know why, and I'm taking the under on the 59.5 points. I'm going to go with the Boise State Broncos to beat Penn State. Boise State's only got 1 loss this year, and it was a dogfight against Oregon. So I think they've got it in them to beat the Nittany Lions. Penn State's an 11 point favorite. I'm going to take Boise State to win outright. I'm going to take the over on the 52.5. I'm gonna jump on the Joey Preciado.
Yes.
And I'm going to take Arizona State to upset Texas. That 13.5 point spread. is a lot. I think Arizona will win 35-34. So take the over as well. Ohio State now on a neutral field, not playing in Oregon and getting jobbed of that extra 2 seconds, are absolutely going to boat race Oregon just the same way they just finished boat racing Tennessee. Georgia and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a solid squad. Georgia's an SEC title contender. We saw what we all know what happens whenever Notre Dame plays SEC title contenders in important games. So take Georgia to smoke them. That -2 does no justice to the game. And come on, y'all know I'm taking the Lane Train, baby. Lane Train over Duke all day. They're a 14.5 points favorite, and I'm taking them to win by 21. And I'm sorry I had to do that. It just got late
You're
on
good,
me.
Jude.
All
All right, we'll see you next week for sure, right?
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. And I'm glad you guys all had a Merry Christmas. Please have a Happy New Year, and everyone stay safe.
Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
Happy New Year, Jude.
Be
Good
safe.
night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
All righty. Back to South Carolina. I'm taking South Carolina to win this game, but I'm taking South Carolina to win by less than 5 points.
Nice.
What do you got, Hunter?
I'm going to take South Carolina to beat the shit out of Illinois. Lenora Sellers has come on strong towards the end of the season. He's playing really well. He's got a lot to set himself up for next season. South Carolina lost Dow Loggins, and I don't think a single South Carolina fan was upset about that. So I'm going to go with the Gamecocks that just housed the Illini in this one.
All right, Christian, who you got in this game?
I'm gonna go with South Carolina.
Lindsay.
South Carolina is rather strong coming into this one. I expect that they're going to easily cover that spread. I'll take the over in points.
All righty. And then in the Kinder's Texas Bowl from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, the Baylor Bears host LSU. This is going to be like an interesting game because this is going to be a full game. There's going to be a ton of Baylor fans there. There's going to be a ton of LSU fans there. This is like halfway point between Waco and Baton Rouge, kind of by Houston. You know what I mean? If you were to draw a V, they're not playing it in Shreveport, but they're playing it in Houston. There's all kinds of implications. The reason why Baylor's favored in this game is Sawyer Robertson. Hunter's going to elaborate a little bit more on Sawyer Robertson here. LSU thinks they're going to walk in and beat what's that?
Bryce Petty 2.0.
Yeah, if LSU thinks they're going to walk in and beat Baylor on name alone, they're going to get beat by 2 touchdowns. Baylor is not a team you go and take lightly. Baylor should have beaten Utah at the beginning of the year. Had Sawyer Robertson played the whole season started the whole season at quarterback, Baylor might be in the CFP right now instead of Arizona State. So they have a really good defense. They have a dynamic offense. Jake Spavital is coaching a dynamic offense, Hunter. Look for Baylor to not win this game by 2 points, 2 touchdowns. Baylor big in this game. Hunter, what you got?
Yeah, definitely. Jake Spavital has coached a real dynamic offense. When he doesn't have to do everything else, he can coach a pretty good offense, it seems. Yeah, I mean, look, LSU has a really tough time against Big 12 teams in postseason bowl games, except for one in the last 15 years when they beat Oklahoma, beat the shit out of Oklahoma in the CFP in 2019. But that's not this LSU team. LSU's got a lot of guys in the portal, a lot of change coming in. I like the Bears to win this one. Sawyer Robertson, I mean, look, if he had played the whole season for Baylor, they'd probably be 11-1 right now. Well, 12-1 because they would have won the Big 12. They'd be in the playoff, probably getting ready to play Texas. So, yeah, I like the Bears to win this one.
All right, Christian, who you got in this game?
I'm going to go Baylor.
Lindsay, give me a pick.
I'll pick LSU for the upset by a touchdown. And I think that the There won't be enough defense on either team to keep the scoring down, so I'll also take the over.
All righty.
Oh,
Now
one
we're
quick
gonna.
fun fact about this
Oh.
game. Originally, it was supposed to be between the 4th-ranked Big 12 team and the 4th-ranked SEC team, but the 4th-ranked SEC team threatened to not play in their bowl game if they were drawn this one.
Would that
So
be-
LSU got it instead of the other team.
Would that be Texas
And-
and A&M?
Maybe, you know. I
They
can't say.
denied the Battle of the Brasses.
Well, it's because it'd be pretty embarrassing. They lost to a Big 12 team.
Yeah, no shit. All right. With that said, we're going to move on to the first of the CFP games. Number 6, Penn State at number 3, Boise State in the State Farm Verbo Fiesta Bowl. It's at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Penn State's favored by 11. I don't like that 11 points there. I'm going to say Boise State covers. I'm going to take Penn State to win the game. Take the under. But rush yards will be 500 total rush yards in the game between both teams. Hunter, what do you got?
I mean, I love Boise State's story. I love what Ashton Genty's done this season, but Penn State has the upfront talent to go and put this game in the hands of Maddox Madsen. And that's just the reality situation. It won't be anything that Genty's done wrong. It's just that he can't beat Penn State by himself. And I don't think Maddox Madsen has the talent to do it. I'm going to go with the Nittany Lions. It's going to be a close one, though. It's going to come down to a field goal, but I do think that the Nittany Lions pulled off.
All right, Lindsay, what do you got in this game?
I don't see Penn State having the advantage here. Boise State has been doing rather well. I would feel silly picking against them this time around. So I will look for Boise State to pull this out by 10 points, and I'll take the over.
All right. If Christian shows up, we're going to pick this game. Let's see what he says. I'm not going to pick this one for him. This playoff game is a little bit different. We'll let Christian answer this one when he gets back. Let's move on to Wednesday, January 1st at 12 p.m. on ESPN from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. It's the number 5 Texas Longhorns taking on the number 4 Arizona State Sun Devils in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Texas is a 13.5-point favorite. 51.5 total points. I'm not going to get too big, too small on anything. I'm going to tell you this. Arizona State struggled against a team that does about half of what Texas can do, and they should have lost that game. They got a ton of help from the officials in that game. Hunter's wearing the hat of said team. They also played like on a Tuesday night or Thursday night or whatever. It was ridiculous what time they played. And if Texas shows up and they don't make any mistakes, Arizona State has no chance in this game. If Texas doesn't have any turnovers, Arizona State has no chance. Will they cover the 13.5? They should. They should beat Arizona State into the ground. Arizona State hasn't played a real super great schedule this year, and they should have lost multiple games that they got away with. They're going to rely on Cam Scatterbo and their quarterback. I've just drawn Sam Levitt. Levitt's not the runner or the passer that Cade Klubnik is. Scatterbo is a good runner, but the offensive line is not as good as Clemson's. I would look for Texas to dominate in this game, but I'll take the W no matter what. Tickets go for about $1,740 a piece for this game. Just to throw that one out there for you.
Yeah, we're not getting tickets this one here, Pops.
Yeah, no, we're watching this one from the living room. So, if it's on me this year, we're going to be sitting on the couch. But I will order dinner for us, though. So, like...
Mighty fine.
You do have a $12 spending limit, though.
I get the fries from Mighty Fine.
Go easy on the appetizer.
Yeah. You just don't get a drink. You'll put yourself over. The drink is an inside joke between Hunter and I. But
it's okay. Right. I'll do a drive-by and I'll huck a 2-liter bottle of Diet Coke out the window at your house for you. You're welcome.
Hey, him and my daughter will be fighting over it. Can we make that a Coke Zero or a Diet Dr. Pepper?
Oh, sure.
I mean, and then you could walk in with that item though. You know what I mean? Like you could come in like I have come bearing gifts.
Well,
You'll be one of the wise men. You know what I mean? I don't have frankincense and myrrh, but I got a stinking bottle of.
I've been Coke Zero and Dr. Pepper.
You'll be treated the same though. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they came bearing gifts.
Better.
What do you bring? Coke Zero. All right. Hunter, who are you taking in this game? Or don't pick this game. Do whatever you need to.
I'll give my wondrous analysis that if Quinn Ewers plays like he did against Clemson, I don't see Texas having many issues.
All right, Lindsay, hit me with some wisdom.
The wisdom I can bring to this one is Texas will win if they can stop making idiotic mistakes on the field and racking up the penalty points. If they're able to keep that under control, they'll win. But in many times, it's been a number of times now, they've been their own worst enemy. Some undisciplined play on the line, and they've been just walking themselves backwards down the field too often. So if they can get a handle on that, they'll be fine. I don't know if they're going to cover that spread, though, but I would pick them to win with the proviso that they got to play a more disciplined game, especially on offense.
All righty.
For $1?
At 4 p.m. on ESPN from Pasadena, California. It's the Rose Bowl featuring a former Big Ten team versus a former Pac-12 team. So it's like the game needed to happen no matter what. You have the number 8 Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the number 1 Oregon Ducks. Now, Ohio State had a big game last week. Can they recreate the same magic again? Ohio State's favored by 2.5 over Oregon. I wouldn't sleep on Oregon, but I think Ohio State's going to do exactly what they need to do in this game to be successful. I'm going to take the Buckeyes to win. They're going to cover, obviously, because it's 2.5 points. They're going to win by 4. And the 55.5 point spread, I'm going to go ahead and say they cover that as well. Let's take the over on that. Hunter, what do you got in this game?
I like the Buckeyes in this one. Pains my soul to say because I'm a Buckeye hater through and through. But, man, they look really good against Tennessee. I think that Michigan loss really fired them up, really taught them what they needed to know about themselves. And they've come out firing on all cylinders. They almost beat Oregon in Eugene. This game's in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State has a great Rose Bowl record. Ryan Day has a great Rose Bowl record. I like them to win this one outright. Not only cover the 2.5, but just to win outright.
Ryan Day's got a good record against everybody that doesn't have an M on their jersey.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to go with the Buckeyes by 7.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Christian, who are you taking in the Boise State-Penn State game?
I'm going with my failed Heisman, Boise State.
Ashton Jeanty? All right.
Yeah.
Christian, who are you taking in the Texas-Arizona State game?
So this is very hard because I was going to be biased with Arizona because I got a friend who's committed, but at the same time, I'm a huge Texas fan. So it's very hard to know who I'm going to root for, but I think I'm going for Texas to destroy Arizona State.
All right. Christian, who do you got in the Ohio State-Oregon game?
Oregon all the way. Oregon's number 1 for a reason. They're going to destroy them.
All right. Nice. Lindsay, who do you have in this game?
I haven't picked against Oregon all season. It's not going to start now. Until they can prove otherwise, I will always give them the win going into any game. I think that they will certainly cover that spread. Look for them to win by a couple of touchdowns. This isn't going to be nearly as close as that line would indicate, and I think that they got it wrong entirely in every category about who they're picking. So go with Oregon by a couple of touchdowns.
All right. In the nightcap for the CFP at 7:45 p.m. on ESPN from Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, it's the All-State Sugar Bowl versus the number 7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish taking on the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs. The Dogs are favored by 2. They say 43.5 points. I'm going with Notre Dame. There's no way in hell I'm not going with Notre Dame. I was asked the question at the beginning of the year, what would happen if Notre Dame and Texas play for the national championship, and we're 2 games away from finding out. I will let y'all know that when that happens. Hunter knows how I would pick that game. I'm picking Notre Dame right now. I don't think Georgia's going to have enough offense to take on Notre Dame with the backup quarterback. Notre Dame presents a lot of unique challenges. Now, I know Notre Dame's best defensive lineman is out, but Notre Dame has great linebackers. Georgia's not going to be able to throw the ball against Notre Dame. I'm going to promise you that. They're not going to be able to throw the ball. They're going to have a hard time running the ball. And Notre Dame has no problem playing field position and running the ball against Georgia. Notre Dame is built for big-time football games. They have a quarterback that likes to run the ball. They like to make contact. This is going to be a team that Georgia hasn't seen yet this year. This is a team that Texas isn't. All right, Texas is a lot of things, but they're not Notre Dame in this regard. Georgia's going to have a really, really hard time with this game. I'm taking Notre Dame to win by 7 points. Hunter, who are you taking on this one?
I agree on a lot of the points. I do like Notre Dame to win. I don't think 7's going to be it. I think it's going to be 3. But Notre Dame has a good quarterback run game. Notre Dame is built a lot in the same way that Ole Miss is, and a lot where Georgia's going to struggle to stop them. Georgia struggles to stop the quarterback run game, and Notre Dame also, like Riley Leonard's proven down the stretch in the season, he's willing to take downfield shots along the edge of the sideline where Georgia's proven vulnerable. And also Georgia, they had the big jump with Gunnar Stockton coming in and all this, but the tape's out on him now. Teams know what he is and what he isn't. Notre Dame has plenty of time to study the tape on what he can and can't do. And without Carson Beck, I don't see Georgia winning this game. I like Notre Dame to win.
Christian, who are you taking on this one?
I mean, two very good teams, and I think that it is going to be a very, very competitive game. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to which team is going to be ranked higher, and obviously Georgia's ranked higher, and it's for a reason. And I think Georgia's going to come out with a win.
All right, Lindsay, who you got in this one?
This might be the thinnest of margins for games this week. I would look for Georgia to win, but I don't think they're going to cover that 2-point spread. So it might be like a 35-34 game, and I'll take the over. I think both teams have enough offense that they can rack up the point, and it's going to be real difficult for Georgia, but they will squeeze it out in the end.
All right, and we're going to hit our segment of the game of the week, the game that doesn't matter. Game of the week that doesn't matter, and this week, y'all don't have to pick a game. It's sitting there right in front of us. Thursday, January 2nd at 6:30 p.m. This game's going to be going on while we're on the air next week, but we're going to pick it now. We've got the Duke Blue Devils taking on the number 14 Ole Miss Rebels. This game happens at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday on ESPN, the 4-letter network from Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. It's the Tech Slayer Gator Bowl. Mississippi State's favored by 14.5. I think Mississippi State goes to covers. I'm going to take the over. Duke doesn't have a starting quarterback right now because he entered the portal and left, and they brought in another quarterback. I don't think Duke's a great team without Malik Murphy. I think they'll be a lot better with their quarterback next year, their new quarterback in Darian Mensah. But for today, I think the game of the week that does not matter, the WEAK game of the week, Ole Miss wins handily. Hunter, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, Duke decided to push out the best quarterback they've ever had passing-wise in favor of Darian Mensah for basically built off potential instead of production, which I think is always ridiculous, especially when you have a guy like Malik Murphy who had another year left. I think 2. I hate what they did. I think what they did is wrong. And, they're going to pay for it by getting the shit kicked out of them by Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss is pissed off. They didn't make the bowl game. I think Ole Miss just fucking houses Duke, and they deserve it.
Christian, who you got in this game?
You know what? Just for the fun of it, I call the upset, and I think Duke will win.
All right, Lindsay.
Duke is gassed before this game begins. They'll never have the lead. They're always going to be playing from behind. Maybe maybe not even put points on the board until the second half begins. This is when it's going to be Ole Miss all the way. They'll cover that spread. Look for them to win by 21 or 24 points. Take the over.
All right. That's going to wrap up tonight's show. But before you go, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel already. That way, whenever we go live next week, you're going to know. We're going to go live around the same time next week, around 8 o'clock. We won't have nearly as many games to cover, but we'll still be there. We're also going to clue you in on our thoughts on the transfer portal one and some of our reflective thoughts of the season. With that said, we're also going to announce our schedule kind of going forward. You're going to have our spring extravaganza show where we'll talk everything college football leading into the summer. But then we'll go, and starting in June, you're going to start looking for our shorts and our short format content heading all the way through June and July, all the way up to the start of the season in August. It's going to be kind of like our 12 weeks of Christmas, but 12 weeks of college football leading up to next year. So we're only going to technically be off for about, 120 total days. We'll have 2 60-day separation periods. But other than that, you're going to see us like every 5-6 weeks. So we'll be there through the all season. We'll keep you informed. We're going to drop a lot more stuff this upcoming season. We're going to do a lot of more fun things with social media. It'll be a little bit easier now. I started the season off this season injured. I was on the IR. I was on the injured reserve because I had to have shoulder surgery. And then Jude had to have surgery in the middle of the year, and he missed some time. And luckily, Hunter and Lindsay have been around. And Christian, we hope to have you throughout the season next year. We may have to get you in short format next year with you playing high school football. And we will make it to a high school football game that Christian is playing in and give you a from the stands report. How's that sound, Christian?
Sounds nerve-wracking.
A lot of pressure. Well, if you're on varsity, we're definitely going to be there. We'll have a sign.
Suck.
Yeah,
I
don't suck.
If I make varsity,
I'll call you out too. What was
yeah.
the last time? The last game I went to, what did I tell you?
I don't remember.
I said, stop standing straight up. Move forward. And you're like, ooh.
Oh, that's because it was probably a few years ago.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You'll be a lot better. But Lindsay and I will be there because Hunter may not be available.
Yeah. So hopefully you can handle the heat of this white hot spotlight on you.
Yeah,
But
I'll say
we'll be
the
there.
crowd. I'll be on the rest of the shows this year, but after we wrap up the season, it's the way life works for me. Where I'm going to be, I just don't know that the timing is going to work out where I can be on the show like I want to.
Live.
Big time.
But you'll be a contributor to the program.
I'll contribute where I can. A lot of exciting things for me. So we'll see. But It's been fun doing the show the last couple of years with you, Dad, and Lindsay and Christian and Jude. I hope I can keep doing it, but I just don't know.
We'll find some time for you.
A lot less, even less than this year and last year. But it is what it is.
But that's what happens, right? But that's why we get you. We get you little pieces of it. Maybe we can get Joey to come back. Doubtful. What if Sac State goes to the FBS? Then can we get Joey back?
Hey, they got Brennan Marion, and man, they're recruiting like a hoss right now with him there. They got all kinds of great players to commit. I'm excited for Sac State next year. I don't know if they're going to win the FCS playoffs or any shit like that, but they're going to be an exciting team.
All right. With that said, let's go ahead and stick a fork in this dude and let's get it done. Let's all say our goodbyes. Christian, we'll start with you in the solo format layout here. Go ahead and give your love, peace, and crackling grease here.
As always, I love being on the show. It is always fun to be around you guys and talk about something that I love doing and playing football. So, cannot wait to be on here next week.
All righty. We'll see you next week, Christian. Lindsay Coyle.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us in the chat. Pat, Brian, Shannon. Did I miss anybody?
Jude, Christian.
But thank you guys for joining. We really do appreciate you watching and chatting it up with us. Stay tuned next week while we dig into the tail end of the season coming up. So it'll be fun to go over the next 4 or 5 weeks and work through the exciting times that wait for us in the next month or so. So thank you very much for joining. Please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Appreciate it.
And you can't spell college football without
You can't. You just can't spell it.
All right. Just because I went to Dripping Springs. I got it.
I didn't have one ready.
All right, Hunter, hit us with it.
Eat 'em up, Cats, and UNT sucks.
All right. Hey, we're going to talk about that game on next week's show, by the way. So don't
They still
divulge
fucking suck.
too
Fuck
much.
them. They still suck.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Lindsay got all your names. I'm going to forget them all, but I'll just give it a quick rundown. Pat Paulson, thanks for showing up. Brian Stewart, Shannon Dickinson, whoever else showed up, thanks for watching. Whoever else shows up, thanks for watching. Make sure to thumbs up, hit the thumbs up, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't know, do whatever else you need to do, or don't. It doesn't matter to me. Anyways, with that said, we got a lot of shows still left in the season, even though we're hitting the downhill side of the season. Stay tuned for more content next week and the following weeks. And remember, the team that scores the most points always wins the game. Thanks for watching.